Hello, everybody. Getting myself set up here. All right. Hope everyone's fabulous today and welcome to this. It's a full moon in Leo, and what a day this has been. Whew. Getting getting things together. I think um I think that's what you can say. So there's a lot that is happening. Planting the seeds and learning. Oh my God. Good morning, Erica. Hello. It's This moon is innovative, it is constructive, it is exhausting, it could be overwhelming, it can move you all over the damn freaking place. Welcome to the new moon or the full moon. I should say full moon, not new moon. I'm saying full moon. It is a full moon in Leo. What's going on, baby? It's okay. There is, let me see if I can, hold on. Oh, let me back in here. What? Show this. So I'm just trying to get back into something right now, and this is the other issue I've been having is it's been a little bit glitchy with a lot of, oh my goodness. Sign out. Where am I? There we go. Maybe I just can't get into it right now. Anyways, it's just been glitchy. So anyways, what have I been doing? All right, I had to get a hold of Host Daddy. This is my day so far, and this is like right with this crazy energy. Host Daddy. So Host Daddy hosts my domain, and that's it. They don't. What do I have to do? I have to get a record of the name. They're not my server. I don't know who the fuck my server is. So I did have GoDaddy back in 2016. My website crashed then, and it had to do with my email, and it wouldn't take my email, and it wouldn't take my email. So we went to HostGator. I've been with HostGator since 2016. So because they're cheap too. Anyways, so we moved the domain name. I don't know if GoDaddy is my server still. So anyways, I don't know who my server is. So what I think I have to do is that I have to go back on HostGator and then add them as my server, and then my website can come back up again. So that'll happen next week. So I got to plant all these seeds. Next thing is I have Mad Mimi as my mail for my mail, but Mad Mimi is very limited in a lot of things they can do. So I just signed up for MailChimp. MailChimp will give me a landing page, and I can work with the landing page. I'm learning all of this stuff. This is like, I had to stop because I could tell when my energy is just getting really off. So MailChimp. So I have to, I'm going to be moving things over to MailChimp. I am on Substack. I've joined Substack, and Substack right now, I'm not having anybody to subscribe to me on Substack, right? So, but I just do some writings and stuff, and I put it out there on Substack. So people can go find me on Substack. To be a subscriber, people can sign up, and I think it's $8 a month or something like that. But I think when I get going a little bit more. So it's like I'm reinventing myself. That's the whole thing. That is so within this Aquarian energy and the movement as we move forward. So this is what's going on. So doing all of that, getting that done. Now PayPal, just whatever. PayPal have restricted my access, meaning you can't get onto my PayPal right now. So nobody can send me PayPal. And that's one of the reasons for everything. That was one of the reasons for everything happening. I was getting an email about some $5,000 Bitcoin coming from your US account. Well, I don't have a US account, and I don't know what this is all about. Got a hold of PayPal. PayPal was basically said I have to go to resolutions and fill out some forms on resolutions. Yet I have to get into my account to go on to resolutions, which didn't help me to do any resolutions. So basically, my account in PayPal is just there. And I have to go back and work with PayPal. So my thing is like, do I just leave PayPal altogether, which is fine because I do have the Square. And when I get things going, I am going to be I want to use Apple Pay and Google Pay in forms for people to sign up for things. So that's what I'm thinking. Um, Everything has been secure with my email and shit like that. So we've secured everything. So we got everything down and secured. But that's the other thing with this energy is that you really have to make sure you are following up on things. Don't shuffle it off, even with your banking and things that are coming in with your banking and information. Just don't take it for granted or say this is the customer service number and call that number. No, find out, like on the back of your card, usually somewhere on the back of your card, there's a 1-800 number. Use that and call that number. Not necessarily the number that they send in an email and stuff, because usually that's could be fraudulent. And even I went on to an email that I tried to look up for PayPal, sent me to go buy something. And I'm just like, fuck this. And I just clicked off. It's crazy. So it's crazy out there. So you really, especially with all the changes and the energy changes that are coming in, you're going to be finding, there's going to be a lot more fraudulent stuff happening out there. So it's really important for you to do your due diligence, do your backup, do everything like that. My website has been sitting on HostGator. I'm adding HostGator and GoDaddy together, since 2016. Before that, I was on GoDaddy for several years and doing really well. But my thing is that because I didn't have a server, I had the host domain, but I didn't have the server. That meant that when I did the updates, it couldn't do the updates. So very, very important to make sure that you guys are doing that. What else is going on in this world? This is just freaking crazy out there. The shooter in Edmonton, like, what the hell? Like, what is that? It was some disgruntled guard or something like that, right? So we have that was going on. And I was, and I'm just like, well, right, just before a full moon, of course, people are just freaking. Some poor boy I think it was in Texas, lost an ear. Like, first of all, his teammate on the basketball team, they had some kind of altercation, and this kid pulled out a hatchet or something. Well, it had to be something. It had to be something that he could get there to cut the boy's ear off. First of all, I want to know how the boy, where he was hiding this thing. How could he pull it out so fast? There's so many questions to that. And, God bless that poor little boy who lost his ear. What else is going on? Just, these are the crazy shit that's coming out, right? So there's a lot of stuff that's coming out right now. And it's just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. England is doing conscription. Not yet, but the High General Sir, what's his face? I'm so good with names, aren't I? Has, and it was in the Journal in England, and now it's all over TikTok and everything, of wanting, because their army is very small in England, and they haven't really did much with their army since the Cold War. So basically, since World War II, they haven't really done too much with the army. So now they are wanting to build it up in case they go to war with Russia. So when there's the thing, you gotta love it. You gotta watch, in case we go into war. Yet NATO just mentioned that the only way we can have peace is with more weapons, right? And then this came out shortly afterwards. And then some other news about what's going on in the Middle East. And I'm just like, man, so much cray is coming out and causing so much fear, so much animosity in the world, right? So much animosity in the world that we really have to watch ourselves and our energies and how we get sucked into all of this, right? And really look at how's that making me feel. Now, Scorpios are funny because as it was explained to me today, we are like all yes or all no. Anything in between is just like meh, meh. We'll say we feel it, but do we feel it? Probably not, because we can have it's really weird because we can have kind of like a gray zone. So things like, and that's the whole thing, is that's why I love to have beautiful people around me, because when I have beautiful people around me, they get me to understand more in depths of the feelings. It's a weird Scorpio trait. And 99.9% of Scorpios all have this. So because we like to stay in our own little hole, our own little, we're a Scorpio. We're going to go, but that's not a good thing, because we have to go out, we have to expand, we have to, a couple years ago, for me to really get out there, and not sort of hide away, I started to say yes to things and going places and doing things. And then my guide said, don't do that anymore because there's a pandemic coming on and blah, blah, blah. That is history. So we're coming forward now where it's time to come out. It's time to get out there. Yet the energies are coming in and want you to hide away, want you to restrict, want you to stay home. Light your candle if you're still allowed to burn candles. I mean, our prime minister wants to take away pizza ovens. What the fuck is that? I'm sorry. Like, is he stupid? Like, I'll get into Trudeau in a minute because there's so much happening in his chart right now, and it is like, anyways, all of this is getting us, and this full moon is igniting us, like getting us to go out there, getting us to come into that passion, that boldness, that beautiful energy that is us. And then with the Aquarian mind, it is really allowing us to really get the lay of the land, ask the questions we need to ask, and move forward. And not get lost in dreamland, which is Neptune right now. Don't get lost in the, dream. Yes, dream, but don't get lost in the dream. Don't get lost in the fear, in the craziness. Don't get lost in that. That's not what we want. We want you to dream, want you to have aspirations, want you to be able to look at things and begin to create. That's definitely it. But when you get all of this nuttiness that's coming out, and you're just like, what in the hell is going on out there? And the thing is, the funny thing is that there is so many that are not like my my one of my sons. Well, both of them, both my sons. They said this is their words. There's no fucking way that they would fight for this country. Not there's no fucking way. When they don't even get the support or having the government with the government that we have right now in what they are doing to the people and how they are taxing us to the hill. I mean, he wanted to add more carbon tax um to everything that there's no way that they would ever fight. Because the thing is, if they do conscription and they start to wanting to pull people up, this is it's 18 to 41. And that's what it was in World War II. Now, that's not saying everybody goes to the front or everybody does it, but that's the ages that they start to look at. And the reason being, they really want to get mature people in there. Um, and they're also looking at men and women. So that's the other, and that's in Britain right now. So you know that if they're doing it, it's not too far off for us to be doing it. And of course, the states already have their thing that's going on, and they've already called up a few to start with training and things like that. But anyways, getting lost in things. The energy, that's coming forth is for us to really come into that higher. And I got volume. So I keep on getting music. So things to do with music, higher volume, higher octave, getting into that 962 hertz energy to really bring forth our vibration into the newness. That's where, it's really trying to pull us into, and not get lost in the propaganda, in the craziness of it all. And sometimes it's very difficult, especially when you go to the grocery store and you have to pay. Or you fill up your tank and you have to pay. And you're just like, oh my God. And you notice how much of it is actually in tax and how much is it actually would be the profit that they'd be making, right? It just sort of blows your fucking mind. So this is a call, I feel, with this full moon, a call for us to rise up, to begin to step into our passion, to begin to step into what it is that you need to do, and understand that not all of it can be done at once. And that's the other part too, because even with me on finding out about my website, going over to MailChimp, all of these little things, and they will cost money. They're not free, and all of this is doing it. It's not free. So this is where it's like, okay, right now, the universe opened an opportunity that I was fighting because I'm a Scorpio, because I had to change my way of thinking, change shit, move in a new direction, which is not something we like to do. That's why I live in houses for so long, because I don't want to move. I don't want to uproot and things like that. Hang on to things as long as I can. This is where, moving me and allowing that movement. So the thing is that if it's going to get messy, allow it to get messy, because I can tell you right now, when it comes to my business and the business stuff that I'm doing, it's messy. So you know what? I gotta work a little bit at a time, and chop it off a little bit at a time. And that's the same way, with things in personal life. And so this is where, if you're finding things in your life that are like, oh my God, why is this all happening? This is way too much. And you go blah 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 blah, and you get into that overthinking. This is where you got to breathe, and this is where you got to say, okay, what can I do right now? Okay, this is going to have to wait, because I don't have what I need to do that. I don't have what I need to do this. And sometimes that means, and especially within this energy right now, is reformulating. If you have a business, you might have to reformulate it in some way. This is looking at doing things in a different way, in a new way. If you thought you could do it the way you've been doing it for the last 9 years, or last 10 years, or the last 5 years, even the last 3 years, you won't be able to do it. You're going to find there's going to be a glitch, something's going to happen, or something's going to throw you into a loop. So it's about reinventing, realigning, and really looking at what are the new things or the new ideas that I can step into. How can I create myself, create within the new energies of what I would want to bring out and vibrate with. And as we are doing that, that means there could be, and it could be coming out to mantras that you say. What kind of spiritual practice do you have? What kind of meditations? Maybe changing up those meditations, getting out, starting to eat differently. Um, these are the types of things that you think are like, oh, that's crazy. That doesn't make any sense. What does that have to do with my business? Your business is you. Your energy is you. So, how in your business could be your relationship or whatever it is. I'm just using business as an example. So, this is where you need to look at how am I vibrating, right? How am I vibrating, right? Explains a lot. The place I work at has been having a hard time pushing further because they refuse to change. Exactly. Exactly. And the vibration, and it's going to push you and push you and push you, especially with Pluto and Scorpio, or Pluto and Scorpio. We're not there anymore. Pluto in Aquarius. It's about newness, reinvention, new ideas. And I mean, it's just starting there. He'll be there until September and then retrograde for just a little bit and then go forward back in November. And so, and then he will be fully into Aquarius. And what does that mean? That means looking at the things that I need to create in newness, because that's what, when we look at the Aquarian energy, it's about this creating, it's about this looking at, but it's also about serving yourself. Serving yourself. It's not about relying on this one and I got to rely on that one and about that one. And that's the same way with, what I was just experiencing. It's like, okay, I got to do this. This is about me being reliable and doing the things. So it's like, if you are within a relationship and the relationship is crappy, or if you are obese, or you are having a drinking problem, or you are having some other issues in your life, the onus is on you. You can't put the onus on the other person. All right? Because nothing's going to change until you change. So when you start taking that responsibility and say, okay, you know what can I do to change myself? That means I got to start looking at what I need for me. And that's not in a narcissistic, asshole, bitchy, fucked up way. This is looking into a positive way of doing it. So this is like, okay, you know what? I am going to play those mantras in the morning. At night, I'm going to have this playing, this vibration playing. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to start changing my diet. I'm going to start eating this instead of that, right? I'm going to start drinking more water. Maybe I'm going to drink more alkaline water, right? And so I'm going to start doing these things because I'm changing my vibration. That means I'm changing what I'm intaking, maybe less caffeine. Well, we'll see about the caffeine part. All right. So, this is what we start to do. And that starts to create the vibration. The thing is, I'm going to say for Lisa, there's not much you can do because it's not your company. It's not yours. It's somebody else's. And you got to look at where they're stuck in the old paradigm. And there's so many people that are stuck in the old paradigm. There's a picture, and I'm just trying to think of when it was done. A beautiful portrait, but this portrait is of like, I can see it in my head. But anyways, it's like all of these skeleton soldiers are pushing everybody into this sort of container, and other people are running away. I think it's by a Dutch artist. And in there, you can see a little bit of the tarot in there. You could see the hangman. You could see, the Hierophant. You could see, the different knights, right? From the different suits and stuff. It's a very beautiful picture. And it's like basically showing you where if you want to move ahead, if you want to create something move, why are you going towards where everybody's getting shoved into a funnel? Why are you moving towards the funnel? Why are you moving towards that if you are wanting to create something new? If you want to create something new for yourself, right? And wanting to be that enterprising person. And that's, especially with a full moon, if you are trying to control, let's say you're trying to control a Leo, which is like fucking luck on that one. You can't control a Leo. You can talk to them, you can try and negotiate with them, you know, but you can't change them until they're ready because they're a fixed fire. So you're not going to want to stoke the fire unless they want the fire stoked. The thing is that fires are passion, and um they're all go and let's get going, and they really have that energy. The other thing about fire too, fire can fizzle out very fast, so if you've had an argument with them and they're done, the fire is done, the fire's done. They're not going to try and fight you back. They're just like, yeah, whatever, you're not worth my time of day. Unlike air will just sort of follow you. And that's the thing, is like right now with the air energy, with the Aquarius energy, it's inquiring, it wants to know. And it wants to, why are you doing that? What's going there? Blah, 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 blah. And you can get very much into your mind. So we are at this place where it's like, okay, you know what? I don't want to get into that. I want to take that step back. And you're butting heads with management but it's not yours. You take too much ownership of it because you're passionate. You want to do a good job. You want to be a good employer, right? You want to be the good person. But this is it. It's not yours. It's like, okay, you know what? I need to refocus what I need to focus on and what I want to focus on. And that's a very difficult thing to do, especially with different work ethics and stuff. So it's like, no, I need to back off. I'm not going to get into that mindset with them. I need to get into what I need to be doing and what I need to create for myself. A good friend of mine, all through, he worked at the same, well, he's a Taurus. So he worked at the same company for years, since I've known him, for years and years and years and years. And butted heads with the management, and especially during lockdown and stuff, refused to take whatever they told him to take. And he finally, they let him go because he didn't abide by the protocol and stuff. And he got lost, and he went on this crazy journey. Ended up being on this farm, and he thought these were really good people, and then he found out like they weren't very good people. And he's like, oh, pack my van, off I go, to where he ended up eventually on the island, and going onto the island. And then from being on the island, really found out, okay, this is what I want to create. I want to create this. This is where found a job, but the job wasn't a job that you would think is fabulous and out there and prestigious. His job is in a restaurant, and he does the back, washes dishes, prep, or whatever they want him to do. But they treat him with respect. They treat him well. It's a breakfast restaurant, so they're only open certain hours, and then they close, and they're not open late. Perfect for him. Joined a choir, a rock choir, and doing, singing and things like that, so he's finding his groove. But what ended up happening is that he had to change a lot of the way he thought, in how he did things. He has gotten himself help in what he needs help in, and admitting that. So his energy has totally shifted, right? He always had that spiritual peace in him, and always had that sort of energy that was very connected. But there were so many other things that didn't allow him to fully come into that connection. And I feel like for many people, there's a lot that's blocking people for not coming into that full connection. And this full moon in Leo is one that's going to blow them out of the water. Either they're going to get it or they're not going to get it. They're not going to get it. It's going to take them a little bit of time, but there's not a lot of time in order for them to get it. This is where we start to see people who don't want to change, who want to continue on the old ways, the old thoughts, and get into the propaganda, get into the fear. It's good to be aware of it, but it's not to fall into it. Yeah, I'm aware of conscription. Am I afraid of it? Well, not for me personally. Am I afraid of it for my children? No, I'm not. I'm not. Because I'm not putting my energy into it. Right? Am I afraid of Trudeau? Fuck no. Is he, because when I looked at some of the things that are going on, I mean, what just happened was, ooh, it's almost the nail that's going to seal his coffin. Just put it that way. And Tucker Carlson just came in to Alberta. I think he went to Toronto. Anyways, he's in Alberta. He was in Calgary and now he's in Edmonton. And he's drawing crowds larger than the stadiums are getting filled up because they want to hear what he has to say. And it's amazing that his timing is impeccable of being on timing when the court just ruled what an overreach of the government, and of course they're going to contest it, but whatever. They're not going to get far. They're not going there. It's like, as I say, the light always wins, but we have to go through the craziness, and we're going to be seeing that not everybody's going to want to come over to the light. Not everybody wants to come over there because they have to change. They have to change the way they think. They have to change how they do things. They have to change so much. It feels like so much, but once they do, because it's uncomfortable to do it all, but once they do and they start to bring forth that newness, it's beautiful. It's really beautiful. My thought always goes to, my parents or even my grandmother, where my dad was born in 1919 and he passed away in 2014. So you think of like all the years and all the things that for 95 years, how much had changed in his lifetime. I mean, when he was born, or even when my mom was born in Detroit, cars weren't readily available. Milk was delivered by a horse cart. The roads weren't paved. Sidewalks were usually wooden. Some places were in really bigger cities, but even then, in the 20s and even up into the 30s. So you got the transformation and changes. If you didn't want to stay current, if you didn't want to stay within that, you're left behind. And we're in the same evolutionary, but times it by 1,000 than what they were, and the advancements that are going to be coming through, and some of the changes that we are going to have to make for ourselves are going to be pretty wild. And there it comes down to what you love. It's like somebody going out with somebody who who says, I detest tattoos, but you're going out with somebody who has tattoos. It's just like you're making allowances for something that you really don't like, right? It's like you so this is like, why? Oh, well, it's this, but there's things that, but it detests you and you don't like it, kind of thing. So this is where it's like, okay, you know what? I need to go with what I align. It's like so many years, but many of my clients, they would have these relationships and these lovely little witches, but their husbands or their boyfriends would not, would freak out because they bought a crystal, or they would have a goddess statue, or they would have something else, and they'd be, oh, what are you doing? And they'd start freaking out. Right. And this is where it's like, you're not living to your true authentic self. And that's what you're going to be finding, is that people aren't going to be living to their true authentic self. They have to live that. Oh, well, I just, we love each other. No. You might have a form of love, but I wouldn't say that's true. That is real love, right? Real love is like having an understanding of what the person loves and partakes in. It's like even for myself. Let's say my husband decided he was going to come out and become, I don't know, go into some crazy radical religion, and it'd be like, can I live with that? No. And he knows I know he wouldn't do that. So it's that type of thing, and being honest with yourself. But then it's the fear of the change. It's the fear of what that means for you in your life and what that's going to look like. And are you going to be going into the tunnel, into the cave? Are they going to shovel you all the way through there? Or are you going to come out and say, you know what, I'm going to get a ride on that. Yeah, I'm going to go with, you know, the Knight of Pentacles, and I'm going to go with this knight, and we're going to fight this, and we're going to stand up for what we believe in, and let people know it's like, these are my boundaries, and this is what I'm going to be doing. I hope that all made sense. There's so much there, so much information that's coming in, and the changes and stuff. So this is even looking at new types of courses. Quantum physics. This is like looking into Akashic records. This is looking into many different types of healing modalities. So much, newness and understandings are coming in. Be open to them. Learn them. Don't dismiss them or say, "Ooh, they must be stupid over there." Something I would say. But be inquisitive. Find out about it. It may not be your thing. That's okay. But it's like, okay, that's your thing, right? It's like, a lot of people got into bars, but I didn't. It wasn't my thing. For some people, I could see what it could do. For other people, I could see, what it did, kind of thing. But it wasn't my thing. It was their thing. That's cool. They did fabulous about it, and and grew with that. Absolutely fabulous. For me, I'm looking more into the quantum fields and what quantum healing can do, and the advances within working with that energy. I think that's pretty fascinating. But but that's for my own self and my own, as I'm working through whatever blocks I have to work through and move through, and working with the Akashic records. I have this book here, which is really a cool book. And working with the Akashic records, and I've had this book for a while. Um yeah, and understanding family karma and stuff. So yeah, so doing those types of things of what feels right and in line for you. And I mean, I've done Akashic records for other people and worked with it for other people, but this is like, okay, you know what, I need to work with it within my own self. I did get my Akashic records read by somebody once, and I don't think they knew. I don't know, it just didn't feel right. um it is what it is. But this is the journey we're on. It's an evolutionary journey of change, and being able to step into the evolutionary change. And it's going to be cool. And I feel like this full moon is kicking us off. It's a kickstart to it all. So yeah, let me pull some cards. Let's pull some cards for this. I'm going to be doing happy hour this week. I'm going to be doing it on Saturday instead of Friday night. I'm working Friday night, so I won't be doing it on Friday. Well, did my oh, okay. I didn't know if I froze. Did I freeze on here? Hi. There I go. So I didn't know if I froze on Instagram. So let's pull some cards. Let's bring it in, baby. One of my predictions that I did, and I thought it was quite interesting, and it's interesting to start seeing things come forward. And one of my predictions that I did had to do with after the signing of the Constitution of the United States and the Congressional Congress having the convention, the first real riot in the states was against the doctors and it wasn't even in the state. I mean, in the states, that was their first one, but it started where many places around the world started to revolt against the doctors. And the revolt was that once somebody was dead, they went and dug up the body to do their little experiments and whatever bullshit they were doing. And people were finding out that their loved ones were disturbed. And especially when it was on hollow ground, right? So they would go onto the grave sites and take the bodies and stuff, right? And back then too, people buried their loved ones with rings and family stuff and things like that. That's why you don't do it nowadays also. Anyways, I digress. But people started to revolt and started to go after them. And I feel like this is one of the things I with people who were forced to do things that they didn't want to do, or were told that they needed to get the elixir and stuff like that. More people I think are going to start revolting, and not only about that, about other things, because of the opiate crisis and things, and how many clinics and doctors and that prescribed them and didn't even care, right? So I feel like that, especially with Aquarius, is like, because it's a humanitarian thing and the energies of the humanitarian coming forth, people are going to start saying, what's this all about? And that's another evolution of new medical information and ways of healing coming forth for people. And when I was saying that, I just got a huge flash of things to do with cancer patients and things like that. New information or new things coming in, because they're trying to push something with that. And it's to do with that turbo cancer. What a fucking stupid name. But with drugs and everything else that they are. So that, I think, is going to be a huge change there, a huge change when it comes to how people are treated, treatments that are going to be coming forth for people. Because people are not going to take that bullshit anymore. People are not going to abide by that anymore. So there you go. Just on a roll today. The Empress reversed. So there's things to do with how we are creating our abundance. And we have a block with that. We have a block with our abundance. So this is, abundance in all different ways. So what is the block that we feel? Like, we all want the abundance. We all want the prosperity. We want to, be able to do well in our lives. But where are we giving away our power to that? And what does that feel like and look like? Because the Empress, brings in where the blockages are there, but also with the energies. Are we feeling very low in energy? Do we feel drained? What are our skills and our resources that we need to create? And this is really a beautiful time to look at what do you want to create? How do you want to create this? And something is missing there. So it's us really looking into, if you want to put it right over there, what are we doing to create this newness? What are we doing to create this? So looking at our true path. So looking at the things that are taking our energy away. All right. And as we're taking away, Okay, two major ladies just came up in the major arcanas. Two major women. All right. The Empress, the goddess of abundance, the goddess, of bringing forth the goddess Fortuna, wanting to bring forth that beautiful abundance for us, but yet we feel blocked. So we have to go into our intuition. We have to dive deep. And this is diving deep into to our knowingness and allow ourselves to be honest with that. And that's the scary part, right? Because sometimes we don't want to be honest with that truth. Our mind starts to overact. Our mind starts to go crazy. So we start to like, oh my God, what about this? And blah, 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 blah. And oh, I can't do this. It's not that you have to do it all right now. You don't. It's taking the bite sizes and moving through it. It's allowing yourself to move through whatever the changes are. No one's telling anybody to go out and fucking quit their job or walk away from their relationship or whatever. That's not what this is. This is saying, look at it. Am I giving them too much? Why, I'm going to, if Lisa's still here, I'm going to pick on poor little Lisa. Why am I butting heads so much? Why am I taking that responsibility? What's my fear in that? What's my fear? Like, and that's the whole thing. It's like, well, I'm afraid that they're not keeping up with changes and the company's going to go down the drain and I'm not going to have a job. And all of that comes into it. Yet, poorly, I gotta because Lisa's energy's coming in. So this is where I can see there's other things that are opening up for Lisa. Other opportunities, other doorways are coming in for you. And it's not necessarily that your job's going away anywhere or anytime soon, but there's new things. But the thing is, our mind gets to the old ways of like, I can't create an income that way. I can't do that. I can't put all my eggs in that basket. That's going to be too much for me. And we get into a fear block. So the goddess says, take some time, go into your intuition and start to learn what opportunities are there for you, what you need to do, what's really sparking you. Look at the wisdom, understanding the higher realms of consciousness, right? Going into those higher realms, allowing for you to look into that duality and the internal strength that you have so that you can move forward. And with that, oh my God, Queen of Pentacles. The Italian Queen is reversed. So there has to do with the mundane world, what we are afraid of losing. What are we afraid of losing? And that's what's keeping you stuck. That's what's keeping me stuck. What am I afraid of losing? I'm afraid of losing whatever. I'm afraid of losing this client or that client. I'm afraid of not being able to what? What am I afraid of? And that's what's coming in, because the Queen of Pentacles is the Italian Queen. She wants beautiful things. She wants to have. She's got Taurus energy. I'm not going for that pillow. I'm wanting that pillow. What kind of wallpaper do I want? No, I want that wallpaper. It's like, it's allowing you want to have the best, but you're afraid to have the best, or you're afraid that if I'm not going to be able to do it or create it or have it. It's just going to be beyond my means. It is way too much. And there is a whole other energy world that's there that says it can be created. Don't get stuck in this world. Don't get stuck in this paradigm. It's like being stuck on one note, one song. I only like this song. This is the only song we're going to play. That's it. I'm not going to listen to any other songs or music. It's only going to be this. And if I go over here, it's not going to align with me. And that's this world. So the higher realms are coming in and saying, we got to start looking deep. Because we're getting too stuck up into this world and thinking this is the way it has to be. This is the way it has to look. We have to have it in this way, this whatever it is. And that's, that brings in a lot of fear. Greenhouse, here I come. I know, Lisa. I know. I'm just saying, girl. There's a reason you downsized. There's a reason why you didn't want that house anymore. You can give whatever it was or whatever information you wanted to do, whatever you did, right? But there's a reason why it came in. There's a reason why they made it's like you got the urge to do what you had to do, right? So that's the thing. There's a reason. And sometimes there's things in your life that you're just like, I got to walk away from this. It's not for my highest good. When I was let go from Save-On, I thought, okay, it was fine. But I thought, oh, this is right around the summer solstice. Fuck, this is transformational. There's, I look at, what it was astrologically, what the seasons were, what was happening dynamically, right? And, and I found the time between June and now has been so many different roads and parallels and dimensions shifting and changing. And here I am. And to where I am right now, it's and I'm thinking, oh, well, this is going to aid me to be able to do this, what I'm stepping into. So I don't want to work any more than what I'm working, because I really want to create and start focusing on rebuilding what I do in a new way, in new ideas, and not get stuck up in old ways. So this is a learning time. What do you need to learn? Well, I need to learn new structures on business. I just got a thing from Skillshare. Skillshare, if you guys want to learn things, Skillshare is so fabulous. And there's so many different teachers from all over the world, and they teach you all different things. And I'm just like, okay, I want to learn about filming and editing and all that kind of stuff too. So there's different things, dynamics that are coming in that are allowing things. But what am I scared of? Well, oh my God, am I too old? Am I, oh, do I have enough time? Oh, I don't have enough money, blah. It comes forward, right? So all of those crazy things come in, right? And you got to embrace them. And especially when I'm looking at my little girl's going to be fucking 27 tomorrow. My baby's going to be 27. Oh, my little princess. But that's, when you start, because, the magician shows. So this is a new journey that we're partaking on, because this is the beginning of the journey. This is the beginning of the fool's journey. He starts off not sure where exactly he's going, but there's the thing about abundance. Oh, maybe I can't do this because I don't have this and I don't have that. And I, all of those little blocks that come in, and, in comes the priestess and says, don't worry about it, honey. Just trust. Just listen to your intuition. Everything's going to be okay. You're going to be fine. And then in comes the Queen of Pentacles. It's like, oh, but I can't have my duvet covers and my silk blah, 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 and my wallpaper or my Gucci handbag. I need to have all of this to look good. And they're just like, no, you can create it. You want all of that? You want all of that? You can create it. The magician just stepped in. What do you want to create? What are you wanting to create? Right? Oh, I have one. Oh, hey, she's only she's only the third one, honey. I have two more. One is 33. The other one is going to be 32. And my young baby is 25. He'll be 26 this year. So, yeah. But you two are a lot younger than I am. But this is, here comes the magician. The magician is saying, what do you want? What do you want to create? Let's bring the magic. let's bring it forth. Let's bring in that creation. What do you want to create? Right? What do you want to create? How do you want to create it? And that's where the energies are coming in. Major arcanas are coming in, saying, wake the fuck up. And that includes me. Wake the fuck up. There's work to be done. It's not going to be easy. This is not an easy road that we are going on. It's a beautiful road. It's a transformational road. It's a road that will create this. But the reason why it's not easy is that we got to get over this. What's in here, our beliefs. Not saying all of them are going out the sideways. We still have, our beliefs and our values, but our beliefs are like, oh, but we got to do it this way. I got to create it this way. My website crashed and I'm like, oh, I got to do it this way. And they're saying, no, you got to do it this way. There's a whole new way of doing it. Last time I worked really on my website was 2016. Fuck, things have changed since then. Grow, expand, learn. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid to learn technology, right? Step into it. It's going to be a part of our life, whether we like it or not, right? But as I said at the very beginning, you still have to take care of yourself. You still have to make sure that you got your boundaries up. You're not just going to go for a free for all and say, oh, fuck it, I'll just take it, I'll just do it all. No, learn, know the boundaries, know how to have the security. Security is important. It's not all lovey-dovey. Oh, everybody just loves everybody. No, it isn't. There's tricksters out there. There's people who want to take advantage of you. Yes, and you got to be aware of that. Not every spiritualist is a nice person. I know that from working stupid wellness expos. They could be backstabbing bitches. But the real true ones, the real ones that are like, hey, what do you need? Oh, you forgot your tablecloth? Cool. Can I help you? Can I help you set up? Those are the ones that are in alignment, that really want to help to create and make a better place for you and work with you and not against you. But sometimes we are so guarded with everything, so guarded, like, whoa, 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 where this is where the high priestess has come in. What are you feeling? Which way? What direction? What direction? And when we start moving in towards that direction, we start create some fucking beautiful shit, man. Right? I don't know if you know, like Regan, like Hillier, I think her name is Regan Hillier. Anyways, she's an Aussie girl. Everything that she's created and manifested in the last 8 years. But of course, she's one of those people that didn't go off what everybody was saying. She found some really good mentors, took some classes, started to learn, started to trust her downloads. Beautiful. That's the thing. And you're just like, oh, well, I can't do that. I don't have the money like she does. She started with less than $8 in her bank account. Right? I'm just like, okay. You could do it. We can do it. We have the technology. We have the force. It's within us, baby. So let us step forth and be that force, because we got it. It's going to be a hell of a fucking ride. I'm just telling you right as it is. It's going to be a hell of a fucking ride. And not everybody's going on the ride. Just saying. So you have to be up to understanding not everybody's going on the ride. And that's not your responsibility. That's their choice. Whew! Baby. Want to book a reading? Get a hold of me, thegurumama@gmail.com, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And most of my dates right now, I have certain time slots that are available that I'm working with. And yeah, but I can be pretty accommodating. So blessed be everybody. May the Lord Almighty watch over and bless each and every one of you, and all you say and all you be and all you do. Enjoy this beautiful fucking day. and keep and breast out, keep a breast, not literally, you don't have to keep your breasts out, but keep a breast out to my Instagram and my Facebook. Maybe I shouldn't be even saying those words, but for the Embolic celebration that's coming up, which is $25 if you want to join me. And what else is going on? And if you want a reading, I'm done doing all the full moon readings. So there you go. Have a great one, everybody. We'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.